Yes, welcome on this session 2 on CNC operations. Just an overview of what we'll be covering when you join our training center. Just to recap of what we did yesterday, we had a topic on what we call foundational topic for CNC fundamentals, where we covered 7 topics. The first topic is to do what we call introduction to CNC. How can we understand about CNC and its benefits? That's the definition of CNC, advantages and disadvantages of CNC, and application areas for CNC. We also looked at the evolution of CNC and areas that you can use these CNC machines to do machining. We also went ahead to do what we call CNC, types of CNC machines like maybe CNC milling, CNC lathe, other machines like laser, plasma, water jet, vis-a-vis the conventional machines. We went ahead to look at what we call CNC components and controls. The various controls we can use in the industry, like maybe Siemens, Fanuc, Haas, GSK, Heidelberg, HNC, all of these are controllers. And then what are some of the components of CNC? This is we did practically on the machine. This is just a guideline on what areas we need to cover for training. We went ahead to look at the code systems like machine code system, workpiece code system, relative code system, absolute measurement and or incremental measurement and referencing of the magazine or the turret, depending on the machine you have. Our machine have absolute measuring system, so we don't reference the axis, but only we reference the magazine. Also, we went ahead to look at how we move axis X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and other axis, depending on which machine you have. We went ahead to look at the safety fundamentals. While in the workshop, we need to look at the key topics on how to ensure the machine is safe, rules that you follow on the safe workflow in the machine. Using also what we call standard operating procedure to understand how to balance safety in the workshop. Then we went ahead to look at some of the basic machining terminologies like feed, speed, offsets, operations, units, work offsets, depth of cuts. All of this we covered in the foundational topic, as we now go into the second topic. Then we went ahead now to do what we call programming concepts. We have what we call the ISO programming. We have normally called G and M code. We have conversational programming, which are using shop time and shop mill, and even we have what we call TAP programming language. There are different programming language we looked at as the overview. And then on this was at the end of that session for module 1 was for us to understand the CNC fundamentals and terminologies, to be able to identify different types of CNC machines and their components. Also looking at the advantages, to be able to look at how to operate CNC machines safely at basic levels, and also prepare the machine for operations. So today we want to look at a session on what we call CNC operations for lathe and milling, on how to do maybe setup, programming, and quality. This is just an overview, but for you to understand this, you have to come to our class and then learn this. So we have these sessions. The first introduction for CNC operations. We will look at various CNC components, on how to identify and understand CNC machine components for the lathe and mill machines, how to be able to recognize the machine capabilities and limitations, how to be able to operate these machines according to the required standard operating procedures. So this is what we will cover in this module 2. We also look at how to do what to call machine setup for work holding, tool holding, work offsets, and also zero axis, or doing what we call turret or magazine reference. So this is just a preparatory class for ensure that you're able to understand how to hold workpiece safely, looking at the work holding equipment or components or devices that you use to use in the machines. We'll go ahead to look at what we call loading and programming. You get a program either in the machine or from a console, then you either load it via either USB or network transfer to the machine. Then you do what you call G-code verification or program verification. From there you can either do what you call dry run, and then you safely start to do the program. So this operation is very good for somebody who wants to become a CNC operator. We'll go ahead to look at what we call now operation of the machines in the manual mode, using job mode, incremental mode, auto mode, and also how to use maybe stop, or what you call emergency stop. So this is, you have to understand how to operate the machine. Then from there we look at our various tools and workpiece and how to hold them safely, and how to ensure that you minimize the accidents or risks that may occur during the machining. And then while we will be able to be doing like maybe basic machining, you have to understand the part quality, how to measure the part, how to record deviations, on how to adjust the machine settings to be able to achieve the required tolerance or the required quality check. And then lastly, you'll be able to look at how you ensure there is what we call operational flow. This is about supervisory or what we call management aspect, how to ensure that there is what we call smooth workflow from design to CAD to CAM until to the CNC if you are using CAD CAM system. But if you are not using CAD CAM system, how are you able to ensure there is a sequential operation that will be able to reduce idle time from programming to the last stage of disbursement of the product. Every day we do what we call assessment. On daily basis, we don't give you an exam to do, so sit down and to do exam, but we'll be assessing on a practical aspect on how you are doing the work according to the standard operating procedure as enshrined in our policy. Okay, at the end of the day, you have to do an assessment. Yes, maybe once you do your course, we can give you a simple task to do so that we can be able to assess your understanding. So welcome and join and be part of this session and learn how to become a CNC operator.